So today we're going to talk about FODMAPs. What are FODMAPs? FODMAPs are basically fermentable oligosaccharides, monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polyols. Okay, what are these, right? So basically are short chain carbohydrates, so sugars, that are normally and by everyone poorly absorbed, and this create excessive fermentation. What happens when we eat them? They are in products like fruits, vegetable, grains, so super healthy food. It's nothing that we need to worry about eating FODMAPs, and actually we want to eat them as much as possible as well. What happens is that when we eat them, we don't digest them most of the times very well, and arrive to our gut bacteria. Our gut bacteria ferment them and create excessive bloating, gas, which is totally fine if we are healthy, but people that is extreme sensitive to them, or they have a gut that is extreme sensitive as well, because maybe they have more nerves and the pain, they feel it more. So when they eat FODMAPs, they really have symptoms. They really feel very bloated, they really have a lot of pain, or they have some change of the bowel habits, having constipation or uncontrolled diarrhea, etc. Okay, this is very linked. This is a syndrome which is irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, and they really suffer. Most of the people of suffering IBS when they eat FODMAPs. Okay, Monash University discovered this diet. So basically, they understood that these FODMAPs were poorly absorbed, and with patients, with people suffering from IBS, they were really improving the symptoms by removing them or limiting them to a point that they were able to manage the symptoms and control. Okay, because we want to eat them, but we want to have them under control. So basically they are present in fruits, in vegetables, in grains, and again, it's not like sugars, table sugar or processed foods that, yes, we want to avoid them as much as possible because they don't really benefit us in any case. FODMAPs, yes, FODMAPs, we want to have them as many as possible in our diet because they are fibers, they are coming from fruits, from vegetables, from grains, from nuts, dairy products as well. So, and they ferment in our intestine, they create gas, which is super healthy for our gut health in general and our general health. But we want to have control of the symptoms if we are suffering from IBS. Okay, so FODMAP diet. So a diet which is low in FODMAP is not a diet forever. Should not be a diet that is like a gluten-free diet for a people who is allergic or sensitive to gluten, right? That is a celiac disease, that suffers from celiac disease. That is a long-term, it's a lifetime diet because they are allergic kind of to that protein, which is the gluten. A FODMAP diet is not forever, should not be, okay? Should be very temporarily, like from 2 to 6 weeks, where we cut. That's why we should be always under control of a nutritionist, dietitian specialized on that they know how to replace high FODMAPs foods for low FODMAPs foods equivalent, nutritionally equivalent. So make sure that these people has enough fiber, vitamins, calcium, okay, vitamin B12, but they have symptom control. And after 2-6 weeks of removing FODMAPs from the diet and giving other foods which are nutritionally equivalent, so are nourishing enough, this also people going through this low FODMAP diet for a temporary time, eventually they will be introducing them slowly and one by one. So it will be a reintroduction phase where we're gonna monitor the symptoms and we wanna see until which level they can tolerate specifically each of the FODMAPs, okay? And then finally, after 6, 8, 10 weeks more, we will know exactly what you individually can tolerate, okay? Because sometimes we feel so much bloated, constipated, and we don't know why, and maybe it's because of these FODMAPs, right? So we need to find out which are the ones that are causing individual sensitivities and try to remove them or limit them until your threshold, able to monitor those symptoms. Again, FODMAPs, unless you suffer from IBS or you are sensitive, especially to them, you should not remove them at all. You should include as many as possible. Thank you.